Trust me, I was there. It was a mostly peaceful protest. And that's a joke. And the joke was on us. We got used yesterday in the worst way. And I didn't see it coming. I made a video a couple of weeks ago trying to get people prepared for keeping themselves safe and having a plan to evade people who might be trying to bring harm to them. That was something that I would do again, but I said in that video that I didn't see a point in going to DC, and I wish I would have said that louder and took it to the next step, because there wasn't a point to go to DC, and that's why we got played. Nothing we were going to do was going to change how the electoral constitutional process was going to play out. I said in that video that if you want to go to show support for your country and your president, and I guess your fellow conservatives, then okay, go. But something could happen that will change you for the rest of your life. And there's one person that obviously happened in the worst way. The 14-year Navy veteran female that lost her life yesterday. But the rest of us lost the entire game yesterday as well, because we got used, and the plan was to jump those barriers and make us look bad, and we fell for it. My group got up yesterday and met in the lobby at 8 o'clock to make our walk from the hotel down to the event area. And our plan was stick together, keep your eyes out for someone that wanted to, do something to harm you. And other than that, get down to the event and participate. And that's great. And that's what we did. And that's what the majority of people did. Now, inside of the crowd were Antifa people. It was pretty obvious, really. Kind of hard to believe. It had me on a certain level of pins and needles the whole entire time. Again, not thinking outside the box. I was only thinking that people inside could bring harm to us. But we're not really a country of suicide bombers. So we're not that bad yet. But myself, I took a test item to the event, though this is a component weapon for making your hand heavy. But it also, obviously, are similar to the components of a pipe bomb. And did I take a chance by taking this to the event, taking it in with me? Yep, I sure did, but I had a plan for that. But I took it to see if it would go in without any problems. Well, there weren't any checkpoints. I said, don't go through checkpoints. There were no checkpoints. The ellipse, the area where the president actually spoke and all the people that spoke before him, I didn't go to the gate that goes into there, so I don't really know, but I'm assuming, wands, metal detectors, pat downs, no bags, the whole, security thing. But we had 100,000, plus people outside of that area that in a lot of cases were carrying bags. Anything could be in those bags. From a character standpoint, we had militia type people throughout the crowd. Guys with plate carriers on, various tactical gear on. I don't know what purpose that stuff's going to serve, really. I think that it's putting on a show that I wasn't exactly fond of, because it contributes to a mentality and an attitude. Most of those plate carriers didn't even have plates in them. My bag has a carrier on the front. I didn't put a plate in it. If I thought you should have a plate in it, I would have said so in the other video. But the plan, obviously, was for the Antifa people to get down to the Capitol building first. And before Donald Trump was even done speaking, that's what they did. They left right in the middle of him talking. And it seemed odd, like people were leaving the party. Looking back on it, that was the plan that they had. Whether or not that plan was completely internal to Antifa, I have no idea. But it was a darn good plan, because they left as soon as Donald Trump said, we're all going to nicely march down to the Capitol. I can't remember his exact words, but he didn't say go down and storm the Capitol. That didn't happen. As always, his words are twisted and extrapolated and exaggerated to, put meaning on his words that weren't actually there. So, as the Antifa people go down first, and a good number of normal Trump supporters follow, and I'm aware that even the young lady that lost her life, allegedly there's some posts that she made, social media, that spoke to storming the Capitol. I don't believe that they stormed the Capitol on their own, and maybe they were going to, maybe they weren't, but what happened is the Antifa people went and jumped the barrier first. Went on the other side with Trump hats, with Trump flags, started waving them back and forth, and that created the environment that then turned into a large group storming the Capitol. Some things that happened from there were spontaneous, and other things that happened from there were not. I'm going to bridge in a little video clip now of the single guard, at least at the door when the video starts, who had dropped his mini baton before the video started 10 feet behind him, and he's in a doorway, and these young, obviously not seriously aggressive people are attempting to come through. It looks very staged. Just look at the video. So what'd you think? That was phony. Were people just in the right place to play the thing out, ad lib? Probably, but at the same time, it was completely phony. So, to give you an idea of whether or not the event crowd was the type of crowd to cause all this chaos, here's another clip of what I videotaped myself not too long before everything broke loose at the Capitol. So watch this.
We will not take the name of Washington. They wanted to get rid of the Jefferson Memorial. Either take it down or just put somebody else there. That's going to happen. This administration, if this happens, Think it happen. You'll see some really bad things happen.
So there's your Capitol burners. There's your crowd that stormed the Capitol of the United States of America. They were as sedate as they could possibly be. Even the chanting that was going on when it did, you know, it had no violence to it whatsoever. So my point here is that there were some people that made this happen. There weren't many of them. I think that they were in Antifa. There are pictures of the main couple of people that, you know, made the biggest impact. The guy with the horns and the fur hat and the fat, ugly turd next to him. There's pictures of those people that exist in previous BLM/Antifa type events. So, you know, the evidence is clear, but we let it happen. We shouldn't have went to DC. I knew it. I should have said it to myself in that way, that because there was nothing to gain, you had everything to lose. And I didn't say it to myself, so I didn't say it to anybody else. And I feel like a sucker because of it. So that was DC, and that's what I perceived from the situation on the ground with the information that I had. There's a lot more information out there that people are throwing around. I think it's all more noise than substance, so there's no reason to pay much attention to it. The election's over. That's a done deal. The Democratic Party has all the branches of government, and there's going to be a lot of stuff that's going to happen because of that. So we should work on being prepared from this point forward. So my next video will surely be about that with the stuff that I have going on. So, all right, take care, people.